Hey everyone, welcome to the RotoGrinders Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It's Friday. It's November 8th. It is 2024. We have 11-game NBA slate to talk about here on today's podcast. Joined, as always, by my good buddy, Will Priester, ChiefJustice06. Chief, what's happening, my friend?
I am doing great. Glad to come on. 11 games on a Friday. So, I won't actually be too involved in this slate. What I mean, Stevie, is not that I'm not playing DFS or props. I'm saying I won't be monitoring much. So I'm probably just going to be doing single entry mostly on this slate because for those of you that have kids that play football, it's playoff time. So first round of playoffs is Friday night. So I will be at my son's game. So I won't, quite frankly, I won't be really thinking about DFS until after that game is over. So, and sometimes that's good, Stevie. I don't get to watch the sweat and I open the phone and see the winning. So hopefully that's what happens in this situation. But it's first round and got a few more to go, and possibly this team can go to the state championship. So it'd be good for him to get one early in his senior year, and then he's going to go play basketball and hopefully get another one. So it could be a real fun ride here as we close out his high school career.
Heck yeah. Well, I wish him and hope him the best. I hope they win on Friday night. So it's always fun.
Yeah.
We do have a nice little 11-game NBA slate. I will say, I know we try to talk about FanDuel. Their slate's not up yet. Can't do anything about that here the night before. So let's jump in. Let's talk about 11 games. What's up, YouTube? Hope everyone's having a fantastic Thursday night and enjoying. I know there's some football going on. Just saw a big catch for a touchdown from Jamar Chase. And let's jump on our basketball show here. We got the Pacers heading to Charlotte, take on the Hornets, 233.5 total here. Pacers, a 7-point favorite. I mean, today in general, I'm just going to go ahead and say this now. Today in general, there's already a laundry list for every team, it feels like, for injuries. So bear with me on these injuries, but on the Pacers side, Jackson's out, Neesmith's out, Wiseman's out, McConnell's questionable. On the Charlotte side, Bridges is out, Richards is out, and Mark Williams is out. So we'll start here with the Pacers side. What do we like here for Indiana?
I still think Tyrese Halliburton's too cheap at 8,100. I think Siakam at 78 is still a little cheap. And my gosh, Miles Turner is 6,200 today, getting the matchup of a lifetime. So I definitely think there's some guys that we can play here. If some of these other guards sit, Stevie, then I'm more than willing to go right back to Benedict Mathurin. He's been playing great. He's been over 30 fantasy points in 3 of the last 4, Stevie. In 4 of 4, and in one of those he was over 50. At 5,400, I think he's still a great play in a matchup on the road at Charlotte too. But that's only if, once again, I need those bodies to be out for him to really have the value. But I still think Halliburton and Siakam and Turner are a little bit too cheap for this spot.
Yeah, I really like Miles Turner. Shocking. I know. Senators against Charlotte. Miles Turner's been playing really good recently, and he has played at least 30 minutes in 4 of his last 5 games, so really like that. He got into some foul trouble against the Orlando Magic on the one game that he didn't play over 30 minutes, so I think it was just foul trouble in that one more than anything else. So like Miles Turner, love Senators against Charlotte. I think you could take shots on Siakam, but I really want to play Halliburton. I think I like Halliburton more than I like Siakam today. So if I was going to play a 2-person stack from Indiana, it would be Halliburton and Turner. But I don't mind the value for Mathurin either. The minutes have been solid. Neesmith's still out. McConnell's questionable. Mathurin should play 30-plus minutes again at 5,400. So I don't even know if you necessarily need to spend up here. I think you could potentially just go Turner, Mathurin, and kind of call it a day on the Indiana side. So don't want to play Obi Toppin or any of these guys. Still not getting enough minutes for me. Charlotte side, here we are. We're still, missing Richards and Mark Williams, but now Bridges is out too. Charlotte's going to be shorthanded in this game. What do you like here for your Hornets?
So, Stevie, we knew that Taj Gibson was not about to go out here and play 30 minutes. Like, we already knew this. And we had a pretty good read on this game. And I know Bridges is out, but one of the things that we felt like, Steve, was going to happen was Grant Williams was going to pick up more minutes. So he played 26 minutes. And now, like you said, we've got Bridges out. I think Grant Williams is probably going to play 30 minutes or more. Josh Green is probably going to continue to get minutes. I want to see how they're going to handle Caleb Martin because he's played 28 minutes against Detroit. He's 3,800. So I think some combination of that group is going to play. I was debating whether or not they were going to, unleash the rookie a little bit, but I don't think they're quite ready to do that. From what I kind of gather, I don't think they're ready to kind of unleash Salon here. So he's kind of my odd man out. If he got 25 minutes tomorrow, I'd be shocked. I think Green, Williams, Martin are going to soak up a lot of that Bridges center. Like they're going to do something creative. That's where I think the minutes are going to land. I'm interested to see how they handle Trey Mann. Like, does he pick up a few extra minutes and they kind of shift things down? Like, Miller could easily play the 3 here, and they could play Trey Mann and Ball together. So I like those guys, and like Seth Curry, like we talked about, he's just kind of out. So I think, not trying to exclude Ball, I'm really just trying to address the Bridges situation. So I want to make that clear. Ball is the guy, right? So hopefully that's obvious. You play Ball. But I think out of that other group that would kind of filter into Bridges minutes, I think it's Williams, I think it's Martin, and then I think it's Green. I think that's kind of how they fill all those minutes.
LaMelo should have a huge usage rate in this game with Bridges out, with Richards out. Grant Williams, we kind of expect him to play 30-plus minutes in this game. I think Taj Gibson is actually going to have to play a little bit more in this game, but I still don't want to play him.
I don't think he plays more than 21 minutes. I don't think.
No, I know. I don't think it's going to be a huge amount of minutes, but I mean, the Pacers don't necessarily play small. I wouldn't even be shocked if we see like Grant Williams and Taj Gibson start together in this game. And we end up seeing Diabate. Diabate. All right. So, I could see him playing 15 to 20 minutes in this game just because they need some size. But I think like LaMelo is the answer. Miller, Mann, Cody Martin, and Grant Williams. That's who you want to play. I mean, if you don't want to pay up for LaMelo, that's fine. I do like LaMelo a lot today. This game has one of the highest totals on the slate. That's why we're talking about it so much. This is a fantastic game. Yeah, it's the first game out of the gun here, but yeah, I mean, this is a great game. Cody Martin, I expect him to be chalky. I'm still probably going to play him. I don't care that he's going to be chalky here. He should play 30-plus minutes.
Even on this big of a slate, you think he's going to be chalky? Because Josh out tonight. I know he's
3,800 though.
Yeah. I get it.
This time of the year, we don't typically see this many people out, but I mean, we're already building stars and scrubs teams. Like that is already happening on like a daily basis right now in the NBA DFS world. So I expect that to be the case again here today. Moving on, we got Atlanta at Detroit, 226 total. Atlanta 1-point favorite. On the Atlanta side, Bogdanovich, Bufkin, Hunter, Krichik, and Lundy out. Duren, doubtful. Klintman and Thompson out for Detroit. Let's go to Atlanta here first. What do we like here for the Hawks?
Look, this is a matchup with Detroit. This game should be up and down, Stevie. Jalen Duren just got hurt against the Hornets. Just awful. So sad. Back to the Hawks though. Is Zachary Richeche, like, are they going to allow him
keep
like, I mean, so Stevie, he had been putting up like reasonable performances. Like he had some rough ones in there, but like he was at 27, 33, 24, 21. Like that was against Boston. I'll give him that. But then against the Knicks, he comes out here and torches them, man. 33 points. And this is a matchup with Detroit. My assumption is he goes over 30 fantasy points here at 5,500. I'm okay with it. Not to be overshadowed by Trae Young, who obviously is the guy on this team. This should be a good game for him also. So I really like those two guys. Dyson Daniels has been playing a lot of minutes, Stevie, when he's like getting the opportunity. So I'm okay with it. I really thought I was going to want to play Jalen Johnson in this spot. And I think I still want to because I don't think the ownership's going to be there. 8,500, I just don't feel like he's going to get tons of ownership. And so I think he's a really good tournament play today in the spot against Detroit.
Ricochet's ownership is going to be wild today. It'd be really interesting to see what his ownership ends up at after having a 59 fantasy point game at 5,500. So be interesting to see.
That slate either. Nobody.
I know. No one. He was on winning teams at like less than 3% owned. So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Johnson, I always think is in play. Trae Young's always in play. Ricochet gets really chalky. I think Daniels is your pivot. I think there's a lot of correlation with those two guys. Ricochet had a huge second quarter and a huge fourth quarter. He combined for almost 40 fantasy points in those two quarters. So
he was he shot 11 for 18. Like that's hyper efficient in the NBA.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I like Atlanta for sure. It's a good matchup against Detroit. Going to the Detroit side, I mean, Jalen Duren, one of my favorite plays the other night. I ended up min cashing on DraftKings with Duren on my team. That's how my team was so good. Had I got a full run out of him, I think I would have had some good teams. But I mean, just slide in Isaiah Stewart. He's 4,300, and he should play 25 plus minutes with Duren out here. I mean, this isn't a spot that I think we need to like necessarily overthink. Paul Reed might get some minutes and some run, but I prefer Stewart. Paul Reed is a guy that can add up the stocks really fast, though. So if you're playing 150 and Paul Reed like gets 20 minutes in this game, he could definitely pay off the $3,600 price tag. But I prefer Stewart. I think it's a really good spot for Cade Cunningham as well. So, what are your thoughts here on the Pistons?
Yeah, it's Cade for me, man. Stevie, and I've been playing Cade probably more than anyone else. I've been playing Cade almost every slate. And I've been being rewarded. I just got to get the rest of it to come through. I mean, Cade's put up 50 in back-to-back games, and it's another spot, Stevie, where if you've looked at Atlanta this season, Washington this season, Chicago, Utah, like teams are scoring. And so Cade at 8,700, I mean, he's big time in play for me. I will be writing him up again today. I think Jaden Ivey is fringe for what it's worth at 6,300. Like if you just like the game, I think he's fringe. But, man, it's Cade, it's Stewart. Like, those are the main two guys. I'm borderline interested in Tobias Harris at 5,900 also. But, like, generally speaking, the guys that I talked about are the guys I want to play.
All right, we got New Orleans at Orlando facing my Magic. 215 total. Orlando, a 4.5-point favorite. Hawkins, Herb Jones, McCollum, Murray out. Murphy doubtful. Zion questionable. Paulo and Wendell Carter Jr. out for Orlando. Let's start with the New Orleans side of this game. What do we like here for the very short-handed Pelicans?
I mean, man, if Zion's out, like, are they going to run Missy out here for like 25, 30 minutes? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, if he's out, like, how are they going to split this? You know, are they going to play, you know, Tice more minutes? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to figure out. I mean, maybe it's Javonte Green. If he's out, maybe Javonte Green gets 35 minutes here. Either way, Stevie, Alvarado's in play. Ingram will be in play. I think Javonte Green at 4,300 is interesting today, especially if Zion sits.
Yeah, I mean, Zion's been playing through it. He played 29 minutes the other night against Cleveland. put up 29 actual points. Derrick Henry just got your touchdown for you, by the way. Brandon Ingram, definitely a huge bump. But I mean, once you get past it, right? Like Alvarado, fantastic play. I'm going to keep talking about Boston Jr.
Yeah.
Dude, he played 38 minutes the other night.
Yep.
And just no one is playing him, and he's getting a ton of run right now. So he's another cheap guy that I like on this slate. Yeah, I mean, Missy maybe. They do have they have Robinson Earl too, and he's been playing 25 plus minutes a game. So I don't know. Could Robinson Earl get out there and play 30, 33 to 35 minutes here if Zion sits? Probably. So yeah, I mean, Robinson Earl played 34 minutes last time that Zion sat. So I mean, there's your. I think that's your potential upside guy, especially with Herb Jones out. Missy played 27 minutes in that game, even though Earl still played a lot. So, I mean, Robinson Earl is power forward center too, which makes it a lot easier to play him. So, watching the Zion news here for sure on the Pelicans side. Let's go to the Orlando side. One guy that didn't disappoint for Orlando the other night was Goga. I mean, he got in a little bit of foul trouble and still kind of did his thing. I think there's even a little bit more potential for Goga. 5K coming off of back-to-back 30 fantasy point games. I think we keep playing him.
Yeah, I like Goga. Go Gadget Batadze. He needs to go in the lineup, Stevie. At 5K, I'm in. Like you said, he's playing really well in terms of helping us from a fantasy perspective. So I'm in. Obviously you've mentioned De Silva. He's getting some minutes. I'm not thrilled about his production, but if you want to go there, I get it. Somebody that's interesting to me is Caldwell Pope, Stevie, because of the amount of minutes he's playing. He's 3,800, and if he gets you 25, I think that's fine on this slate because of this. Like you talked about the stars and scrubs effect that we've had. Probably the past right after the first slate, Stevie, we've been building stars and scrubs. Like, it's been crazy. So I'm not saying KCP is, what he was back in the day when he was kind of more of a primary option for Detroit. But I am saying at 3,800 with them being down bodies and playing big minutes, he can kind of squeak his way to big fantasy or reasonable fantasy production for the price. Let me say that. How do we want to treat Suggs? Like, we've seen the upside. I don't think it's over, but I don't think he's like – I think he's a 20 entry max and up guy. I don't think he's a single entry guy anymore.
At 7,300 and what is expected to be probably the slowest paced game on the slate. Both of these teams play very slow. So I'm not super excited about playing Franz or Suggs because the game is just going to be kind of slow paced. I mean, it has a 215 total, which is the lowest total on the slate. Franz obviously can pay off 8K, but yeah, I mean, is 45 enough for 8K on this 10 game or 11 game slate? Probably not. So, I mean, I love my Magic, and I think that this team is very good for the potential that we have. But I think I play Goga and then maybe take some shots on KCP. I like that call. 3,800 for a guy that's playing 35 plus minutes a night. They love his defense too. He has so much upside on the defensive side. I mean, you look at the Thunder game a couple nights ago, he had 4 steals in that game. So, and a block. So 5 stocks for 3,800. I mean, that's almost getting him there by itself. So, Brooklyn at Boston is where we go next. 227 total. Boston a 13.5 point favorite in this game. On the Brooklyn side, Bogdanovich is out. Sharp and Watford join him. And then Clowney is questionable. And then on the Boston side, Brown and Porzingis is out. And Cornette is doubtful. Let's go Brooklyn here first. What do we like here for the Nets?
I was coughing, so that's why I was muted, Stevie. I wasn't talking.
I saw you. We're good.
Okay, gotcha. Dennis Schroeder's been good, man. But I don't know if I want to play anyone from Brooklyn against Boston. I mean, gosh, they're down Jaylen Brown, and I know the Hornets, pull the rabbit out of the hat, but realistically, Boston's just been so dominant and suffocating. I know they're down bodies. I don't like this game for Brooklyn, so I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, Schroeder's price is kind of caught up to the production, and the production's kind of slowed down a little bit for him. Not really seeing a ton here on the Brooklyn side. I mean, I think you could always take shots on Cam Thomas in any matchup because he does have that upside. I just don't think today's the day. The Boston side, I mean, I don't love this game.
Yeah.
Chat saying Cornette doubtful too. I said that when I broke down the injuries. Sup? Come on. Neemias Quetta at 4,500 is probably my favorite play from Boston. I mean, on the prop market, I'll definitely be looking into Derek White and Pritchard. I could definitely be talked into playing Pritchard in DFS at 5,200 in a game where he could potentially get some extra run if this game gets out of hand. But I don't love the Boston side. You know, Tatum's 10-5. It's a game that is probably very lopsided by the end of the game. So I don't know if you're going to get 40 minutes Jason Tatum ceiling type game. So I'm going to pass on Tatum today. If anything, I'd play some White or Pritchard, but I really like Neemias Quetta at 4,500.
Yep, love that call. And Stevie, to be honest with you, man, I keep wanting to play Drew Holiday, and I played Drew Holiday under 9.5 rebounds and assists because that's what I've kind of been playing this season, Stevie. And when I saw that he had 17 rebounds and assists the other night, I went and looked at the box. I said, Drew Holiday may have actually had a game, for his cheap price. Stevie had 6 real points. Finished with 28 fantasy points after all of that peripheral production. Listen, man, Drew's good, but man, his fantasy production has been so down. So I can't do it anymore, which means tonight he probably scores 50. I'm okay with Pritchard, but I'm with you on Quetta. I think he's, one of the better options here.
All right, we move on. We got Golden State at Cleveland, 229.5 total in this one. Cleveland a 4-point favorite. Draymond, Melton, and Podsy all questionable. Strus, Al, Wade questionable on the Cleveland side. We'll start here with Golden State. I mean, I'll keep saying it. Unless, if Draymond and Podsy and Melton are out, maybe the bench gets a little shorter here. But, I mean, they're not really playing anybody a ton of minutes right now. Now you muted. So that time we got you. So the overhead.
That is the actual one. Yeah. So I don't actually want to play anybody from Golden State against Cleveland either. And look, Stevie, I know things happen. Golden State can obviously be competitive. We saw them play well against Boston the other night and come out of there with the win. I think Curry had 27 real points, I think it was. But all in all, man, you keep playing tough defensive teams, you're not getting out of there clean. So I don't really want to play anyone from Golden State. Even if Draymond sits, maybe Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson's 3,600. He'd probably pick up some minutes, Stevie. I don't hate that. But generally speaking, I'm not rushing to load up on Golden State against Cleveland at Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I just, unless we get a lot of injury news here, if we get a lot of injury news, maybe I'm interested in playing a Jackson Davis because Cleveland plays big and Draymond will be out, and I feel like Jackson Davis or Looney will have to play, and I just prefer the upside of Jackson Davis, but we have a lot of value at center already, and I mean, we're only 5 games in, so on the Cleveland side, I mean, just a really good basketball team. We keep saying it. They're really good. I mean, Jared Allen's been playing fantastic. Mitchell has been playing fantastic, but they're just not hitting their GPP ceilings that you kind of need here. I mean, if Draymond sits, you could see a huge game out of Allen or Mobley. But yeah, I mean, do we really pay these prices for a center on a slate where we have so much value already at center?
Well, I think the thing is, Stevie, Allen's 7K and he's got 50-point upside. I think that's why you do it, but not single entry or 3-entry max. I think in large field, especially if Draymond sits, right? Allen could be a really good tournament play. So I'm okay there. I think I would side with Allen over Mobley currently because of the price difference. Then we look at Darius Garland at 6,900. Like, he's another guy that at that price, I think I want to take some shots. But all in all, I'm not rushing to play Cleveland either.
All right, we got Phoenix at Dallas, 229 total here. On the Phoenix side, Dunn is doubtful. And on the Dallas side, Exum, Lively, PJ Washington out, Cleaver doubtful. Let's start with the Phoenix side. Beal is probable for what it's worth. Any interest here in Phoenix?
I just think they're okay for now. Like, I'm kind of okay with Tyus Jones at 5,300, but like, you're gonna need him to have some upside. I'm semi okay with Nurkic now that his minutes have come back up and he's had some big games. Like, Nurkic might actually be my favorite play here. Kevin Durant is very affordable, Stevie, so he's not overly expensive and he hasn't really been expensive. I think he's finding this game because this game should be competitive. Like Royce O'Neal has been serviceable even. So it's just an interesting spot. Beal is very cheap, but he's hanging out in the low 30s to mid 30s for fantasy production. I think it's mainly KD, Nurkic for me, and then Devin Booker comes behind.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nurkic could eat in this game if he got that 33 to 35 minute run. I know, against Miami the other night, they let him play 33 minutes because, I mean, bam. But, I mean, if he can get the minutes in this game, I think he crushes. So I think he's a large field tournament play. A lot of risk because you're just kind of betting on the minutes. But if he gets
he's only 5,800, which is good.
Yeah. And again, that goes back to the conversation on Allen. If Nurkic gets 30 minutes, he has the same ceiling as Allen at much cheaper price tag. So I mean, center just has so much value today.
Yeah.
The Dallas side, I know Najee Marshall was everybody's go-to value play last time out. And I don't think it was the wrong play. He's 4,800 now. I don't think we want to pay that price tag for him. Daniel Gafford, again, another potential value center play, but I mean, they didn't run him out for a ton of minutes. Out of nowhere, Dwight Powell got a lot of minutes in that game. What are we doing here with Dallas?
Still put up 30 plus. That's the crazy
part. All he needs is the minutes. We keep saying it with Daniel Gafford.
Honestly, all minutes aren't created equal. If Daniel Gafford gets 25 to 27 minutes a game, he does this every game. That's what I'm thinking about when
looks like Will is lagging a little bit. So I thought it was really interesting what they did with Gafford the other night. He checked out really early in the third quarter. I don't know if that was by design or not, but it was very interesting because, I mean, in the first quarter of the first half, he played a 7-minute run. So I don't know what happened with Gafford, but I know that he had been going to the bench a little bit and he went to the locker room, but he came back out. So we'll have to kind of pay attention, but he's not even on the injury report. So Gafford could get 30 minutes in this game. And if he does get that 30-minute run, that's kind of all you're looking for. Because, I mean, if we look at the first half from the other night, we use game flow, he ended up playing 19 minutes in the first half of that game. So, I mean, that's 19 of his 24 minutes. He only played 5 second-half minutes the other night. So it looks like he played 6 second-half minutes. So he had 18 minutes in the first half. My math stinks. Sorry. So I like Gafford. I think Gafford is another value center. I mean, we have a ton of them today. We saw Luka absolutely cooking against Chicago. And I mean, the upside and ceiling was there. But yeah, I mean, with Kyrie, it's just You're not getting like 80-point Luka right now. Looks like Will is back. You good?
Yeah. I'm good. I was good for a while. I heard everything you said. It's just I realized so I got this icon in our thing, Stevie, that lets me know when something's acting up. And I saw it, I was like, oh, it's acting up. What's happening up here? So yeah.
We're good, buddy. Thoughts here on Dallas?
Yeah, love Gafford. Okay with Luka. Okay with Kyrie. That's mostly it. Like I wasn't as high on Najee as I think everybody else, so not really worried about anyone else.
All right, we're moving on. We have Milwaukee at New York facing the Knicks. 227 total here. Knicks a 7-point favorite. Milwaukee on a second end of a back-to-back. We'll see if anything comes out of the game that's happening on Thursday night. Precious and Mitrov out. Payne questionable. Always tough to talk about these back-to-back teams. What do you like here for Milwaukee?
Believe it or not, I'm okay with Lillard. If Giannis plays, I'm okay with Giannis. Generally speaking, Stevie, I'm not really thrilled about playing this team. Like overall, like outside of those guys. Lillard's been spectacular with his scoring recently. I'm not sure where he is tonight, but he's really been putting up the numbers, man. So I'm fine with him. And obviously, Giannis has been, I took Giannis in terms of season long. I took him less than 11.8 rebounds per game. So far, he's just destroyed it. And I think he's averaging over 12, Stevie, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he's really been heavy on the glass. So those two guys for sure, where you want to plant the flag. And those are just the obvious plays.
Derek posted that Wallace had a long dump touchdown. It's like, who is Wallace?
Tyler Wallace?
Yeah, he had an 84-yard touchdown pass from Lamar. I thought my Lamar passing props were dead. They're very much alive again, so that's great. And then Justin Tucker missed the extra point.
Come
weird.
on. Justin Tucker's having a rough season. Actually, like, to his standards, Stevie, he's missed some kicks. He's missed extra point. Like, this is unheard of.
You still have him as a top 5 guy. Like, if you're building a team kicker wise. So, anyway, love that, by the way, for what it's worth. Good job, Wallace. Good job, Jackson, getting me back in play. I had posted on Twitter earlier today that I had a 30% same game parlay boost that I was going to use, and I used the new scores and odds like parlay tab. And it's already hit 2 legs of it. It had Burrow and Chase over, and they both hit. And it has Lamar over 228.5 passing yards.
So he should be getting close.
Yeah, I mean, that put him at a 182. So that made it much more in play. The Knicks side, Karl-Anthony Towns definitely finding his footing here with the Knicks. He's been playing great. This is a good matchup for him. I mean, I could see him cooking here. I could see Jalen Brunson cooking here. Milwaukee's not been a good team this year to start the season. And, I mean, they're a team I think you could definitely pick on right now. Their defense has not been great. They've been getting beat a lot. What are they, 1-6 or something? Like, what do we like here for the Knicks?
Yeah, man, give me Karl-Anthony Towns, 8,400. Like you said, Steve, he's really stepped up and has been very productive here down the stretch. He's a guy I wrote up at least once this week, and so I'm perfectly fine with him. If you want to play Brunson, I'm okay with it. I think I'd side with Dame over Brunson for what it's worth, but I totally get it. You look at these auxiliary pieces: Bridges, Hart, Anunoby. I'm probably still going to side with Anunoby right now at 5,600. But as long as Josh Hart keeps scoring some and picking up all the peripherals, he's one of the best tournament plays on the slate against this team, against Milwaukee, that's not playing great defense.
All right, we got Washington at Memphis. No total in this game, and I think it's just because we have a ton of injuries in this game.
Yeah. So many.
On the Washington side, Bey, Brogdon, Kuzma out, Bagley questionable. On the Memphis side, Bane, Gigi Jackson, Ja, Smart, Spencer, Vincent Williams out, Concher questionable. Going to the Washington side, I mean, obviously you could pay up for Poole in this spot because Memphis is missing their whole team, and Jordan Poole could just go out and have a really solid game. We haven't seen a ceiling game from him. I mean, maybe once or twice since he joined Washington last year. Kind of want to play the cheaper guys. I think I want to play like Sarr in this spot, who's been playing really good. I wish Valanciunas was getting more minutes. It's just not going to happen. So I don't think I could play him. But like Colby has been playing really good. He's coming off of kind of a bad game. And then Carrington at 5,500. Like, I think we just play the value in this game. We're going to talk about a ton of value on the other side of this game. But I think on the Washington side, we just take these cheaper options, Sarr, Carrington, Colby, and leave Jordan Poole on the bench.
Listen, I don't have anything else to add. That was my take on this game because of how many cheap pieces they had, Steve. I mean, I think they have at least 4 cheap pieces. Like, if you include, just right top of my head, Sarr, Coulibaly, George, and Carrington, right? Those. I think those are the 4. Yeah. Yep. So I'm with you. I think those are the guys. And they've come through for me this season, Steven, when I play. I mean, I caught a 40, 50-point game from Coulibaly earlier. I think when they played Atlanta, I was kind of on that game when kind of all the chalk hits. I had a good night that night. So I'm with you, man. Get the cheap guys in from Washington.
All right, we go to the Memphis side of this game. No Ja, no Bane, no Smart, no Vince Williams. Williams has been out, I think, all season anyway. But, I mean, this is a spot where Scottie Pippen Jr. might be my favorite play on the slate. Like, I'm waiting. They haven't posted props for this game, but I'm waiting because I think his props are something that I definitely like. His point assist prop is definitely something I think I'll end up betting today. But I love him. I love Sante. We finally saw like Jalen Wells have a really decent game the other night. I think he had like 4 or 5 threes. Like, this is a fantastic spot for these Memphis players with all these guys out. I really wish like we could get consistent minutes out of Zach Edey, but why not give him run in this game
He's going to
too?
get him tonight. I think he gets it in this game. Like, he's actually one of my. You talked about value centers. He's actually one of my favorites, Stevie. That's why I was saying like, hey, Ja's out. And not just Ja. Like, they've got a plethora of guys out. I think Edey at 4,700 is a really good play. And we've seen him have, I think, a 50-point game, fantasy point game, to be specific, already this season. And I'm not saying he goes for 50, but Stevie, I think mid-30s to 40 is a very reasonable expectation in a spot with Washington, where we know it's going to be low defense, high pace from both sides. So I don't want people to think it's just Washington. Memphis is playing at one of the highest paces in the league. I think they're either second or third behind Chicago or something like that. Maybe they dropped to 5th or something when I looked the other day, but they're still, I mean, they're top 5 in the league in terms of pace.
Yeah, Washington's 2nd, Memphis is 6th. This game is going to be very fast-paced. This is one of those games on any given slate where you're probably playing, I would say, I feel comfortable playing 3 to 5 players from this game on any team.
Agree 100%,
it's just such a really good spot on both sides. Both teams, both sides have key pieces out. Brogdon and Kuzma,
How do you feel about Jackson? Because he's 7,200, and like you can afford to play him in this game. I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts there? Because clearly, even if he doesn't play 35 minutes, he's still kind of an alpha here.
Oh, I mean, his usage is going to be incredible in this game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I obviously have a lot of interest in him. I know we kind of skimmed over. I feel like we do that sometimes when there's just guys that I feel like are, I wouldn't necessarily say obvious, but he's pretty obvious. Like, don't overthink playing Triple J here. Like, his usage with Ja off the floor and Bane off the floor throughout the years have been fantastic. And I mean, they don't even have like Marcus Smart right now. So don't overthink that. I mean, Triple J is a fantastic play. So yeah, I mean, good spot for Memphis, good spot for Washington, good game to target on the slate. We got Houston at OKC, 218.5 total here. The Thunder 8.5-point favorite. Steven Adams questionable for Houston. Hartenstein, Topic, and both Williams still out for OKC. Going to the Houston side here first. What do we like here for Houston?
Oh man, like against OKC. So people may not know this, Stevie, but OKC is one of the top teams in the league in terms of defensive efficiency.
Yep.
And Houston isn't really going to push the pace. So this should be a slower type game. And so, like, as Van Vliet's price continues to come down, I'm getting interested, Stevie. He's now 7K flat. So I'm slightly interested. I know we've got Amin Thompson here at 4,700. You got Green at 77, who's been a really good scorer. But like all in all, I'm not thrilled about playing Houston. I'm okay with Şengün at 8,100, but this is the team I'm rushing to play against one of the best defensive teams in the league.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? We have a lot of value at center. We're going to talk about Jokic the next game. If I'm paying up for a center, it's Jokic. If not, I'm saving. I mean, there's just too much value at this position today. And you could pay up to be contrarian with a guy like Şengün, sure. Like, I get that aspect. I love doing that. But I don't think today's the day that you're doing that. I don't love the Thunder, and I don't love the Rockets in this game. I mean, it's just one of those games where I feel like it's two good teams playing each other. It's going to be a good basketball game to watch. But DFS-wise, I mean, where's the value? We are DFS players. We're like sports bettors. I mean, we are always looking for value. That is what we're looking for on a consistent basis. SGA is 10-1. I'm not paying that price for him today. Holmgren is 8,300. Not paying that price for him today. If anybody, I'm taking shots on Jalen Williams. He has been playing really good. His stats as far as like assists and rebounds have come up. We know he's a guy that can add up the stocks really fast. So like maybe it's Jalen Williams, but really like I don't even love anything here from the Thunder side. Yeah,
I agree with you 100%. This really isn't a spot where I'm trying to plant my flag. That's kind of why I mentioned the defensive efficiency in Houston's pace. This just, like you said, Stevie, great game to watch on Friday night for ESPN. Terrible game, in my opinion, for DFS. Not saying that SGA couldn't go off and score 50 real points here, but, there's still just so many other guys we could be playing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right. We got Miami at Denver. No total in this game. I think it's just because Jamal Murray is questionable. But on the Miami side, Love is out. Jaka is questionable. On the Denver side, Gordon, Holmes, Kankar out. Murray questionable with concussion protocol still. We'll go Miami here first. What do you like here for the Heat?
I just think the Miami guys are cheap, and I think Bam is cheap. I think Jimmy Butler's cheap. And that's the only reason why I think you'd be playing these guys, Stevie. Like Bam getting down to 7,400, he could put up 40-plus fantasy points, in any matchup. So I like the prices on the Heat because I think they're priced for the Denver matchup for their lack of consistent upside this season. But I'm getting to the point where I think this team or these players are a touch too cheap, and we need to start filtering them in.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Hero is probably my favorite play here. He's shown upside. He has at least 40 fantasy points in 3 of his last 4 games. So, I mean, he's shooting the ball really well. He's shooting the ball a lot. He's getting a lot of open looks. He would be my favorite play from this team. And then on the Denver side, Jamal Murray matters a ton in this game, whether or not he plays or not, because if he's out, Russ Westbrook at 6,600 is probably still too cheap. I know he was 5K last slate, but I mean, it's just Russ doing Russ things. He had 15 shot attempts the other night against the Thunder, 6,600. He's going to keep shooting the ball a lot. And Jokic likes it, man. Jokic had 16 assists the other night. It was wild. 82 fantasy points. Like he's just the guy. If Jamal Murray is out, they run the offense through Jokic, and I mean, he is just a walking triple-double when Jamal Murray is off the floor.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at Peyton Watson at 4,600, Stevie. We talked about it. He played 34 minutes. He's still in play. If he's going to play 34 minutes, I think we have to consider him. Clearly not as good of a value as when he was 3,400, Stephen, we played him the other night. But with those types of minutes in this offense at home, strong consideration. I'm still not giving up on Christian Braun, who's also going to play big minutes. So lot of good options from the Nuggets.
Yeah, and Watson, I mean, that block at the end of the game was wild, and I still don't like him. Me and Peyton Watson aren't friends right now. Like, having 2 free throws when you need to hit your over 10.5 and missing both of them. Oh gosh,
Ooh,
I don't know.
buddy.
It's been a while since I got frustrated, but yeah, I was frustrated at that. And then he blocked the SGA shot at the end of the game, and I was like, I don't care about the block. It helped my fantasy team, but I don't care because you missed your over. His price has come up now. I don't hate the idea of taking some shots on him, but I definitely prefer like MPJ, Braun, if Murray is out. Like Michael Porter Jr. played like 40 minutes the other night. Braun, we talked about this spot. I mean, we talked about all these guys, and I mean, I think we nailed Denver the other night. Jokic absolutely crushed. If Jamal Murray is out, I think on DraftKings especially, you're probably going Jokic and a value center. And we talked about some of those value centers have like power forward eligibility, which is great. We finish out the slate with Portland at Minnesota. No total in this game. Both teams on a back-to-back. Both teams somewhat healthy. Like, both of these teams are healthy. So we'll see if anything comes out. But, like, if anything, like an Ayton or like a Rudy Gobert. But I think both of these teams are good to go for what it's worth. So let's go to the Portland side first. What do we like here for Portland?
Not much, man. I mean, Simons has been fine. I know Scoot Henderson is 5,400, but I mean, he's not playing minutes.
The minutes are gone again. Yeah,
like, he's not playing any minutes. Like, what are they doing? They drafted this man early and sent Dane packing just to play him 20 minutes a game. I don't understand. So I'm just kind of out on this team. Jeremy Grant is a guy that I did like on the previous slate, Steve, because it was a smaller slate and he's like mid 6K area, and he can still kind of get off. But I don't really like this game either.
Yeah, I mean, like, Scoot played 20 minutes and they lost to the Spurs on Thursday night. So, yeah, I mean, Grant has been super solid as far as just production-wise. So
he's got stable minutes. He's going to play mid-30s.
Yeah, he's been very consistent. I'm looking for upside on this slate, though. So I don't hate Grant in this spot. I probably don't end up playing a lot of him. I mean, they do play Grant and Ayton and Simons decent enough minutes where you could take a shot on any of those guys. The guy that
you got your over on Lamar.
Oh, I saw chat post that he had 234. So that's always good. You know, hitting those single game parlays with a boost of 30%, always good. Minnesota side here. Portland's not the best defensive team. They've really struggled against wings this year. Ant could cook in this game.
Absolutely.
The only thing that I will say, and I say this all the time, I hate shooters on back-to-backs. But Anthony Edwards is not your typical shooter. This kid is really, really good at basketball. And I call him a kid. Anthony Edwards is awesome. This is like the guy that we're going to be talking about for the next 10 years. Like, this guy is the future NBA.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, Ant was a staple for me on the previous slate. I'm okay with Ant at 93. But once again, Steve, I do want to make it clear, I don't really like this game at all. So I'm not going to be getting too many pieces from
it. Anything else? Or are we moving on to the morning grind game?
Let's get to the game.
All right. Will looks like me on the NASCAR show. He's over there yawning. The over-under on NASCAR yawns is very high, though. I think we crush your
day of basketball today. My gosh.
We crush your mutes. All right, morning grind game. DK pricing, DK scoring. Favorite play under 5K to go 7X. We have options today. Who do you got?
Yeah, a lot of options. I think what I'm going to do, Stevie, is I'm going to go with someone that I feel like is really going to get the minutes today. I'm staying at home. Don't let me down, buddy. Give me Grant Williams.
All right. I could definitely see that happening. I'm going to go Neemias Queta at 4,500 for Boston. Cornette doubtful. This seems like a really good spot for Boston to get up in this game. I don't think he comes off the floor in a blowout. I like the upside here, so I'm going to play him quite a bit. So I like him today. Over 8K to go under 5X. Who's your bust today?
Give me Steph Curry against Cleveland.
Yeah, I feel like we picking on Steph on this question a lot this year, but I mean, I definitely see it. He almost had a triple-double the other night, and he had 5 stocks against Boston. I mean,
yeah,
we DFS-wise, like, we're really, like, hating what the Warriors are doing, but, I mean, how can you argue with what they're doing, right? Like, at the end of the day, the Warriors are 7-1, and they're playing really good basketball, so can't really argue with what they're doing. For me, on this question, I think I got to go... As much as I like him, I think I got to go to Dame today against the Knicks. Back-to-back for Milwaukee. I think this is a tough spot for Dame. Favorite 6X play? Who do you got?
Oh, man, staying in the same game. This is a guy I've been on all year. Give me Cade Cunningham.
I like it. I'm going to Scottie Pippen Jr. I talked about how much I like him on this slate. I think this is just a great spot for him. Favorite GPP ceiling play? Who do you think has the highest ceiling on the slate?
Look, I really like this guy. I hope it doesn't burn me. Hopefully he gets the job done, Stevie. Give me Tyrese Halliburton.
All right, I like it. I feel like this is a question that is just kind of answered by itself, but I'm going to go Jokic. I assume Jamal Murray sits one more game. If Jamal Murray sits, I could definitely back up off of Jokic a little bit and kind of go down to some of these other guys.
You mean
like
if he plays? If he plays.
Yeah, if Jamal Murray plays, I think you could go to like Cat, Edwards, Brunson type plays, Cade, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But if Jamal Murray's out, Jokic, I think, has the highest ceiling on the slate. So I'm going to double up my answer that I answered the other day as well. Let's get weird GPP play of the day. Who do you got?
I'm hoping this is weird enough, Stevie, because I don't know. Hear me out here. I don't know if people are going to make it to him because of
Jamar Chase just had a 70-yard touchdown. Sorry.
Oh, gosh.
This game is exactly what everybody thought this game was going to be. 28-28 with all the fantasy points. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Yeah. No. It's all good. And once again, I mentioned the fact that the upside is still there. He's fallen off. Stevie, I'm going down to Disneyland. Give me Jalen Suggs at 7,300. Nobody wants to play him at this price. And this is a man that's put up 50, 60 fantasy points this season. Give me Suggs at 7,300.
Yeah, I mean, or not. I get it. I don't personally like Suggs as much as you, but I completely understand it. I'm going to go to Carrington.
The Pelicans are super depleted, too. That's the thing. Like,
yeah.
This game
I get it.
Pretty even.
No, I think Orlando wins this game. I'm going to go to Carrington for Washington at 5,500. I don't think he's going to get a ton of ownership today. I could be wrong, but we have a lot of like 45 to 5K plays today. I think Carrington kind of goes overlooked today, so I'm hoping he's not chalky. He's my Let's Get Weird GPP play today. Favorite over-under, money line, any of those bets standing out to you today?
Give me a second, Stevie, because I want to see. Hold on. Yeah, I was looking at the totals here. Give me the over in the Hawks game, man. I just 226.5. I mean, I got to think both of these teams push the envelope here, Stevie, and score some points.
Yeah, I don't mind that. 220, what is it, 227.5? Yeah, I get that.
226.
Yeah, so I'm on the Hard Rock app.
Yeah, you can get it as low as 225 too, which is interesting. Minus 113. That's not bad at all.
So I have a 3-pick parlay for today. I feel like I haven't done a lot of 3-pick parlays for the NBA, but there was 3 games that I liked that weren't too crazy as far as like money lines. So that's what I have today. I have the Orlando Magic to win. I have Dallas to win against the Phoenix Suns, and I have the Pacers to beat your Hornets today. This is a plus 259 3-pick parlay, and I figured since it was Friday, we gotta have some fun and have a 3-pick parlay. Any props that you like today?
Stevie, let's see. What is we're just gonna stick with what we know. Miles Turner has a 9.5 rebound prop. Just take the over.
Oh man, yeah.
It's very simple.
I'm betting it right now. Like I don't even, not even thinking twice about it. Instant. It just. I mean, especially with Nick Richards out too. Like,
oh boy, and Bridges was carrying 6 to 8 rebounds for us over that stretch. Like, what?
Yeah,
he's gonna have a field day.
Yeah, I mean, there are some games that I definitely want to target some props from. Washington, Memphis is a huge game, I think, for props today. It's none of the props are up yet for that game. So that is a game that I have circled to chase some props today. Outside of that, like nothing immediately jumping out. So, I mean, I bet the Miles Turner bet with you. I'm right there with you. I'm in. I was quickly trying to pull up the Hawks-Detroit game. Cade's at 23.5 on FanDuel. I think that's super tempting as far as that game is concerned. Like, he just hasn't been scoring as much lately. Like, he's been, like, triple-double watch. So, like, you could potentially go away from Cade's, like, scoring and maybe go to his points, rebounds, assists, or points assist number. What is it? See, it's 33.5 too. I mean, it's just those numbers are high. I like Cade a lot on this slate, but those numbers are like, I don't know if they're plus EV bets here. So probably going to pass on betting anything here night before. You know who I wanted to look up really quick. Sorry, I know I'm extending the show. That's my bad.
No, we're good, man.
I wanted to look up Isaiah Stewart, his props today. What is his rebound prop? Isaiah Stewart's rebound prop is 7.5. I'm going to pass. There's nothing that's jumping off to the page to me here night before. If I like anything, I'll add it to Scores and Odds. Like I mentioned today on NASCAR Running Hot podcast on Action Network. I like Christian Eckes to win the Truck Series Championship here on Friday night. Last weekend in NASCAR championship weekend, a lot of stuff going down. Huge tournament. I think it's a $400 buy-in over there on DraftKings. We get like one send-off tournament to finish out the year. And hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. We're back Monday talking hoops. Good luck, everyone. We'll see you then.